Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday to you. And I welcome you back if you are joining us to Level Up for Limitless Leaders. And if this is your first time, thank you for joining us. This show has been started to really help us as developing, emerging, and seasoned leaders to level up our leadership. If anything, this time of crisis that we're living through has taught us that the quality of our leadership matters. And the quality of our leadership will determine how well we navigate through life and navigate through work. We started a series last week, How to Be an Authentic Leader. And today I am happy to start part two, which is creating your authentic leadership brand. So last week we talked about really what is authenticity? What does it mean? And we talked about aligning our walk with our talk, really aligning our values and beliefs with our actions. And so today we want to talk about how to build up a brand. And can we actually have a personal brand? I believe that we all know that we can have a personal brand. It's not just a company that has a brand, but even as a company, they have the brand for their external partners and stakeholders. They also have an internal brand, their employee brand. And as individuals, we have a brand. And as leaders, we also have a brand. So, as we know in our workplaces, some people have brands that are good as leaders and brands that are not so good. So that's what we want to talk about this morning and what the elements of your brand would look like. So just bear with me here as I share my screen and we are going to jump right into it. As I said, these sessions aren't intended to be long, but they're intended to be informative and impactful. Good morning to all of you who are tuning in. Thank you so much for joining us. So happy to have you. And share. Please feel free to put your comments there and I'll try to look at them. I can't really see them very well when I am sharing my screen, but I will get to them afterwards. So bear with me on that. Here we go. Part two on how to be an authentic leader. So, as I mentioned, we want to talk about how we can create your authentic leadership brand and what are the elements of your authentic leadership brand. First of all, let's define what that is. So, what is a leadership brand in the first instance? The character and the image you live in private and consistently present to the public. See, now if I was in church, I would ask for an amen. The character and image you live in private and consistently present to the public. So remember, we're talking about an authentic brand. So that means that when you are authentic, you are being true to yourself and you are being consistent with your values and beliefs. We can't talk one thing and live something else. People are going to figure you out. People are going to know that you're a fake and a fraud. We have to get out of this mindset of being one way somewhere and being something else somewhere else. I can tell you one of the lessons I learned this very quickly when I first started working, and this was before I became a leader per se, right? With a title. I was a line staff as a entry level teacher. That experience taught me that I needed to live consistently to a brand. I didn't even know the language. I didn't understand all of these concepts. Just getting into the world of work as a first time worker, I mean, I worked in my family businesses and all that, but I'm talking about working for other people, first real job, right? But one thing I noticed is that no matter where I went, I ran into some of my students. It didn't matter where I went. It might have been the grocery store, it might have been at the movies, or I don't know, out eating at a restaurant, at church. There was never a place that I could go that I didn't run into a student. And then when I would go to school, like after the weekend, and you would hear the kids chit chatting, I would hear them talking about the students that they saw and the places they saw them and the things they were doing. And I said to myself, you know what? I don't want to be a topic of conversation for my students. I need to live up to whatever it is that I'm teaching them in this classroom. Wherever they see me in the public, that needs to be the same person that they see and know in the classroom. And this is before getting into business and HR and understanding all of these fancy terminologies. It was off observation and my personal values and convictions. So when we talk about building a leadership brand, we can't be this leader that talks this great talk in the boardroom, that talks this great talk at the staff meetings. And then when people see you elsewhere, like in the hallway, in your office, at the restroom, like who are you? Who are you? And what do people say about you? What do people experience when they encounter you? This is what matters. We have to have the character and the image that is reflective of both private and public life. This is why people are so jaded about leadership today. We see people posting things on social media, and I'm talking about public figures, influencers, people in corporate, people in other civic community, religious community. And sometimes we're jaded because either we see these people presenting something that doesn't appear to be real or doesn't seem to be genuine or doesn't line up with the things that they are posting about because they've interacted with them and they don't see the consistency. Or you have some of these people sliding in your DMs with messages that are not consistent with their brands. Or people, and this is the thing that blows me away, y'all. We're having a real conversation, right? The times that people would message me privately asking for advice, asking to talk, and being so surprised that A, that I respond, that B, that I would give them advice without charging them anything, and C, that I'm willing to chat further or even meet in person if it's required. And people are like blown away because I still can't believe that, people see me in that way, like some aloof person on some plateau. I don't see myself that way. I'm a human being like everybody else, right? So I want my brand to be someone who is approachable, someone who is easy to talk with, someone who is generous in giving advice. So, what are these brand elements that we need to focus on? First, we need to look at our personal and our online presence. This is a part of our brand. So, what is it that we're doing personally, in as far as our character is concerned, who we want to present ourselves to be, and how are we showing up on social media? So, what is the messaging and the positioning that we have personally and online? Next, we want to look at our image. And this relates to our personal appearance and also the written elements and the visual elements of our image. So, what do I mean by that? So, you have some people that have a particular um, brand element that's theirs. Like it may be their glasses, or it may be a ring, or it may be some symbol, or it may be their colors. You may have a color scheme or theme. You may have a personal logo. You can have a logo with your name, right? All of these are visual elements that you can have for your image. You also need, and this is my huge pet peeve, leaders, we need to have professional headshots. For goodness sake, we need to have professional headshots. I'm going to say it one more time. We need to have professional headshots. Let us please move away from these car selfies and bathroom selfies and the things that we're doing and sending out as with low resolution, and clearly we're not, together and ready, camera ready. Come on, we have to level up. So I'm going to share some things that we're going to do at the end of the series. I have something coming up to help you with that. We're going to do a master class in that area, but we really have to get these brand elements together. So professional headshot, a professional bio. So we're not even talking about the resume. And we know that we need to clean the resume up. We need to make sure that it's always current, because you just never know. But as professionals, as leaders, you ought to have a bio. Suppose I invite you to be a guest presenter or something at an event that I'm doing, and I ask you for a bio and you don't have one. Or you send your resume. That's not the same thing. You should have a short bio, which is 150 to 200 words. And then you can have a longer bio that outlines, of course, who you are, your value, and your professional and personal accomplishments. Let's get to working on this, people. We need to have these things in our portfolio. The third brand element is our work ethic. What do people say about you and how you work? Are you hardworking? Are you a driver? Are you cold and only focused on goals? Are you compassionate? Are you empathetic? Are you willing to help? Are you supportive? How do you work? And then, what is your level of competence? How competent are you in your skill and technical levels? And if you find that you have areas of weakness or gaps, get to learning. There are tons of courses right here on LinkedIn, on YouTube, anywhere you can find information. There are associations and organizations, anything that you can find. We are in a knowledge era, an information era. There is no excuse for not leveling up on your competence. And finally, our brand is also reflected in our emotional intelligence. And you know I love to talk about that. But our emotional intelligence is our ability to be self-aware, to manage ourselves, to be socially aware, and organizationally aware, and also how we are able to manage and navigate relationships. This is all a part of our brand. It goes back to, how do we handle ourselves in various environments, and how do people see us? What is the perception that we are putting out there? And we can't say, well, I don't care what people think. Yeah, it shouldn't run your life, but you should be open to feedback, and you should care about the impact that your mindset, your work ethic, your competence, your image is having on other people and your organization. You should care. So you don't want to be that leader that's known to just flip out, or known to be the one that people whisper about. Oh my God, she needs to get a life. Oh my goodness, he needs a break. Like, can't he just go on vacation? He's driving us crazy, right? You don't want to be that type of leader. And when you have strong emotional intelligence, you are able to better manage yourself, and you are better able to connect and build rapport with people, and also to really manage and build and leverage your relationships. We can't do work without people. We can't do anything in life without people. I shared that on Monday. If you check my profile, my Monday Mojo post, is that we need to collaborate. We need to. Sometimes we don't like to, but sometimes we need to. So, to wrap up, as I always tell you, we will have a coaching challenge every week because this is how we change. We have to do the personal work in order to see transformation and success. So, your coaching challenge for this week: complete an audit of your brand. I hope you made note of all of those brand elements that I mentioned. What do you need to change or enhance? Some of you may be saying, ouch, I need that bio. Oh, I need that professional headshot. I need to really check out my social media platforms for consistency in messaging and positioning and quality. I may need to really sign up for some sort of course. My competence level isn't that great. Maybe I need to look at my work ethic, or I need to do some more in the area of emotional intelligence. Whatever that may be, this is not about condemnation. This is about leveling up. This is about saying, I want to hit the goals that I have for myself. And I want to be a better leader. I want to transform the environments that I am in. And I can only do that when I examine myself and I do what is necessary to make the changes that I need. So I hope that you take on this coaching challenge this week, and please feel free to share your comments, your aha moments, your takeaways, and lessons learned. Next week, this is the topic: how emotional intelligence makes you an authentic leader. Ooh, I can't wait for next week. I love talking about emotional intelligence. It is critical for life and for work. So we are going to talk next week about those 4 elements that I mentioned already: self-awareness, self-management, or self-regulation, it's called sometimes, social awareness, and relationship management, and how that ties in to being an authentic leader. I hope you enjoyed this session today on Level Up. I am coming back so I can see the amazing comments that I know everyone is having here, right? So thank you for tuning in.